illegal power connections are bleeding Eskom coffers dry. The utility and law enforcement officers are today removing illegal connections in Woodmead. eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones, he's there and joins us live now. Morning, Pule. I hope you can hear me this time around. Of course, you know, this issue, a big one, not just bleeding Eskom's coffers dry, not just a big financial burden to Eskom, but also, like I mentioned earlier, it's also a safety risk for those people who are directly involved. We hear of these shelters that are being built under these power lines, but what can you tell us there this morning?
Yeah, well, you know, Eskom in Gauteng is continuing with the operations of cutting down illegal connections that have been taking place in some of these areas here in Johannesburg. Just yesterday when we spoke to the MMC for Finance, Tala Morero, he did mention that, you know, the city was bleeding around 300 million financially per month to these illegal connections as well. But I'm joined by the Eskom spokesperson, Mr. Shivambu, who speaks to us. Eskom in Gauteng, thank you very much for chatting to us, sir. Just tell us why you're here today in terms of these operations, and throughout the day, are you going to be visiting other areas as well?
No, thanks. Maybe let me start by correcting. I'm not the spokesperson for Eskom. I'm a senior manager responsible for maintenance and operations in Gauteng. So we are here today in the Marlborough area to remove the illegal connections that we've got. You have observed yourself, you have seen the illegal connections or the illegal networks that has been built in here. So the plan is to remove all these networks because they save a huge safety risk to our community. But over and above the safety risk that they pose, they also contribute a lot to the load shedding that the country is currently suffering with. Because if you look at the loads that is lost or is drawn by these people that are illegally connected to the network, it's so huge. And if you look at the contribution of these illegal networks or the illegal load in the country, for Gauteng only, if we can be able to get rid of all these illegal connections, we can be able to avoid 2 stages of load shedding as a country, just the contribution of the illegal connections.
Is this not show gloating? I mean, you are of course disconnecting this illegal connection, but you come back again, they will start connecting again illegally.
Yeah, obviously they do reconnect themselves. But at the same time, we can't fold our hands and say that we don't do anything about it because they will come back and reconnect. Number one, this is a socio-economic issue, which is not only supposed to be an Eskom problem, because obviously they do require energy. But if you check where they are connected, number one, most of them are illegally settled in these areas, and as a result, that's why the government is not connecting them or giving them access to electricity. But at the same time, if we leave it as it is, and someone get killed in these networks, and as electricity providers, we remain liable for the lives that will be lost. So it is our duty to make sure that we remove these illegal connections so that we don't get innocent people being killed by illegal electricity.
And then how much debt is Eskom incurring, especially in Gauteng, throughout these illegal connections?
The total non-technical losses that we are suffering as Eskom in the last financial year, it was close to 22 billion. And if you look at the contribution of Gauteng on the non-technical losses, it's about 7 billion per annum. So you can imagine it's a lot of money that we are losing as Eskom, that we are supposed to be using to be maintaining our plant, to making sure that we create infrastructure that will ensure that people have got reliable electricity. Because over and above the load shedding that people are suffering as a result of not having adequate generation capacity, one of the things that illegal connections do to the network is that you do get they generate faults on the network, whereby customers that are supposed to be off load shedding, or when they are supposed to be on, they are off because we have got network faults that are generated by these illegal connections. They are not properly done. There's no protection, so as a result we end up tripping the network as a result of all these illegal connections.
I mean, I know you speak about cable theft and vandalism as well. Have you managed to track down any cables maybe belonging to Eskom, copper cables to be much more precise, which have been stolen by the residents to illegally connect these electricity networks here?
Yeah, it's true. Like they do steal our infrastructure, which is cables as well as the poles, to create these illegal networks that you see in here. So they'll be stealing infrastructure from our formal networks and come and utilize in here, which is really taking us backwards. I mean, as a country, if we check where we are now, we've achieved over 90% in terms of access to electricity as a country. But by them now vandalizing the network, breaking down the network to illegally connect here, does take us backwards, because the people that were supposed to be having electricity will not have electricity, and we'll keep on maintaining these networks.
Right, thank you very much. Of course, that's Mr. Shivambu, an official from Eskom in Gauteng there. I just want to ask my colleagues, Joel Matlala, to take a walk with me so you can see this is one of the communities that do not have electricity right now due to the illegal connection. It was a busy day, people washing their laundry, selling goods. But as it is right now, it seems that day has been, of course, disrupted, with Eskom coming to, execute their operations there by disconnecting illegal connections, which they say is costing the entity, or the utility rather, in Gauteng billions annually as well. But most importantly, this was part of the Finance MMC's speech yesterday, in which he said, much more has to be done in terms of curbing electricity and water losses throughout the city. Let me speak to some of them and hear what they have to say. Baba, sawubona, thank you for speaking to us. Ngiyabona ukuthi banixisha legesi manje bathi beniconnectile illegal. Qiniso?
Bakuthatha kuphezulu lokubane nalokho besikhonele illegal la. Imbezezela.
Yina nifunani la? Misa bathi ngifuna ama meter box, aninawo ama meter box.
Asinawo ama meter box, niyabona noba wekho. Kunama meter box la. Abantu siyazenzela la, sikhandela izindlu, sizenzela yonke into. Mase sizenzele qhamuke futhi i-service delivery ayikho. Sizenzele ngowethu la yini, qhamuke nizodemolish. Yini kanti nifunayo? Anifuni lutho.
Manyakho izindlu la Eskom azange ithi izofika banisize ngama meter box.
Ayekho wakhansela la khona amasemba. Yabo, mswana ama resist leniza nawo la. Ngizosibhedlezela.
So fina kanjani manje awukho ugesi? Bathi benikokotela awukho ugesi manje.
Ngifila kakhulu because abantwana ngeke bakhona ukudla manje. Benekudala bathi bazofaka ama meter box abawafaki, so asazi ukuthi kumele senzeni manje.
Thank you very much. Of course, those are the responses from the community members who were saying that they're doing everything for themselves, and apart from there not being any service delivery in the area, they were hoping that, of course, the municipal officials can come here and try to assist them in terms of installing meter boxes here, and they're quite saddened by the fact that these operations have had to take place. But I mean, the law is the law. The law has to be respected, and of course, again, we once again apologize for that derogatory term that was used by one of the community members here. But of course, Eskom will be moving around in some of the areas in Marlborough in which they will be illegally making sure that they disconnect the illegal connections that have been in place for about months and years as well. We hear from them.
Thank you so much, Pule Letshwiti-Jones. Of course, the issues that he highlighted there right now, linking in with all of these other various issues that we do have in the city of Johannesburg.